Good morning, Munem Abia, and Happy New Year. I've titled my speech this morning, Rising to the Opportunities and Challenges of the New Year. I come to you this morning with a message of gratitude first to the Almighty God for bringing us into the joy of the new year, and to all of you, my dear brothers and sisters, for your unyielding commitment to the growth and development of our land. Thank you for the daily sacrifices you make to provide for your families and create value for the larger Abia community. Abia is better today because of your unrelenting faith in the promise that it holds. As we begin a new year, I would like to especially thank you for being steadfast in your support for our administration. To us, the opportunity to serve and play a small part in shaping the future of this great state is a lifetime privilege. A special day like this offers an excellent opportunity to reiterate our resolve to continue to put the rapid development of our state beyond and above every other consideration, because for us, it will always be Abia first. New Year mornings present a perfect occasion for reflection and resolutions. We reflect on our journey and make resolutions based on our reading of events. Every new year bears its unique set of opportunities and challenges. So while interpretation of past events may help, my considered opinion is that it is best to look to the future with a lot of courage. Mistakes may have been made in the past, but the new year is an invitation to begin again, this time on a clean slate. And join us to embrace this gift of a new beginning with a genuine sense of optimism, confident that we have been made wiser by the setbacks of yesterday. We may also have to brace ourselves for whatever storm the year could throw up, because one of the enduring lessons of time is that nothing is certain. As we start another round of journey on this plane, our best guarantee of success is a resolution to be strong, to refuse to give in to circumstances, and to keep pushing forward, irrespective of the odds against us. In the end, it is not the strongest or the most brilliant who wins. The victor will always be the one who stayed resolute. In the new year, we shall consolidate on the gains of the last 31 months to further expand our system of advantages. As you already know, our efforts in road infrastructure development have continued to cut down intra and intercity transport fares, leading to low production costs, higher employment opportunities, and increased factor utilization across urban and rural communities. With the recent rollout of our mass transit scheme, which is powered by energy-efficient buses, we expect to see further reduction in the cost of commute per kilometer, especially as new buses are added to the current fleet. Our target is that by the end of the new year, we shall have no less than 100 electric buses covering all the major urban and semi-urban routes in the state. Beyond the introduction of electric buses, 2026 will also see new levels of commitment to the development of critical transport infrastructure. With the expected completion of our multimodal transport terminals, several strategic road projects, and similar initiatives designed to support the seamless movement of people, agricultural produce, industrial raw materials, and outputs to places where they are needed. The new year certainly holds a lot in store for millions of hardworking men and women. The grand objective is to encourage investments in productive assets, create jobs, and increase our GDP by consistently cutting out the bottlenecks that add to production costs. Across the ministries, departments, and agencies, we have midwifed the adoption of a new work ethic through the introduction of multiple layers of incentives. In addition to sufficiently providing for the welfare of our workforce, we have also made robust investments in programs that develop the competence of the workers, exposing them to new tools and systems that accelerate productivity. In 2026, we shall be committing about 5 billion naira to manpower training and development because, for us, the only guarantee of the sustainability of any public sector reform is the readiness of the institutions to effectively interpret and execute their service mandates. In the light of this, I am glad to announce that arrangements have been concluded to set up a dedicated center for the training and retraining of the staff of various public sector establishments to improve their skill set and disposition to service. In the new year, we shall also take steps to redirect the system of deployment in various public institutions. Individuals shall only be posted to offices where they are able to function, create value, and improve general service performance. The policy of the right persons in the right offices will particularly strengthen the capacity of the administration to deliver results that are connected to the rapid socioeconomic development of the state. Since coming to office in 2023, we have prioritized the reform of the land administration system to improve the value of our real estate, check land racketeering, and fast-track the business activities that are tied to structured land tenure system. The continuing success of our seal of woe in 30 days has streamlined the land acquisition, ownership, and transfer processes, boosted the confidence of investors, and improved our ease of doing business outlook. May I also announce that we are currently automating our land administration framework to drive process transparency and cut out unhealthy practices. In the new year, we shall adopt more technology-driven approaches to enable us to do more with the limited land resources available to us. Our principal objective is to create value for landlords, investors, mortgage institutions, and of course, the next generation of Abians. The projection is that by the time we complete the ongoing land mapping and digital documentation exercise happening within the geospatial coordinates of Abia, the value of our real estate will rise exponentially, opening up new business front lines for multiple economic groups. Connected closely to the ongoing land reform initiative is our commitment to housing and human shelter development. From this January, Abians shall begin to see the manifestation of our engagements with federal government institutions and leading private sector players in the real estate sector with respect to expanding housing supply for tens of thousands of families and businesses in the state. We shall only start new housing projects to accommodate our expanding population, especially in the urban centers. We are also going to acquire abandoned housing estate projects that are strategic to the residential needs of our population. In the light of the responses we have received from the original investors, I'm optimistic that significant results shall be achieved this year in the housing sector. Our immediate priority is to begin by providing residencies for low-income earners, and as we open up the space, we shall provide fitting leverages for institutional investors to step into the high-end property market to meet the needs of individuals and families in the high end of the income bracket. In line with our governance philosophy of working closely with partners from the organized private sector, we shall continue to study every genuine proposal presented to us for the purpose of meeting the housing demands of different income groups within the state. What can, however, be taken for granted is that roads, power, security, and other support infrastructure shall be made available within the communities to drive real estate development. On this date, 12 months ago, I announced the introduction of free and compulsory education in all public schools across the state. In the months that followed, we made necessary investments to not only guarantee the success of the program, but to reset the public education system to meet the expectations of the age. 2025 saw to the recruitment of more than 5,000 teachers for our primary and secondary schools, training in modern pedagogy for those already in the system, the retrofitting of several schools in the 17 local governments, improved supervision by the relevant authorities for quality assurance and dedicated funding provisions to guarantee effective administration by the heads of schools. To meet the rising need for additional teachers following the surge in enrollment, we are currently working to recruit additional 4,000 teachers. We are greatly encouraged by the enthusiasm of tens of thousands of young people to be part of the ongoing efforts to reposition the education sector. As always, we shall keep the playing field level to give everyone a fair chance to compete. But in the end, only the best shall be employed, because for us, there's absolutely no room for compromise. In the new year, we shall continue the broad governance efforts at transforming primary and secondary education into participatory hubs where pupils' interactions and teacher-guided insights direct learning. The old paradigm of passive transmission and reception of information has been found unsuitable in the modern world. So we have adopted a model that prepares children for the future of work, equipping them with skills that enhance their capacity to contribute to the creation of value wherever they function. Part of our priorities for the basic and post-basic education subsector in 2026 is to restore and upgrade our science and technical secondary schools into centers of excellence. The Ministries of Basic and Secondary Education, Science, Technology, and Innovation, along with the relevant parastatals, are required to work out the modalities and get necessary approvals. Let me also report that our Smart Schools Development Initiative is coming off fine. We expect to complete the entire spectrum of infrastructure and manpower development, and then international system certification in a few weeks from now. Smart schools have become the next frontier of learning. So we are prepared to invest right to make the products of our basic and post-basic education systems competitive and ready for the demands of tertiary education. This government shall stand firmly by its commitment to give our children a foundational advantage in life through education. To this effect, every public school in the state would have the right number of relevant subject teachers, learning tools, and an environment that supports effective transmission of knowledge. Let me specifically thank our parents and guardians for their growing trust in public education. We are going to introduce stricter supervision framework starting from this January. Indiscipline, truancy, and any form of negligence shall have no place in our schools. There shall be serious sanctions for anyone found to be in violation of government directives. Beyond the immense gains that have been made in the basic education space, we have also seen significant changes in the tertiary education subsector, with significant infrastructure upgrade at Abia State University, Uturu, and across its campuses, Ogoneonu Polytechnic Aba, and Abia State College of Education Technical Arochukwu. Through the appropriate organs of government, general support has been extended to the heads of the institutions to improve their learning and residential environments, staff welfare, and general academic and social experience of the students. As we did in 2024 and 2025 fiscal years, we have also committed 20% of our entire budgetary outlay to education in 2026. Our objective is to consolidate the gains we have made in the last 2.5 years with respect to repositioning the education sector for relevance in the new age. The goal is to create a mass of solution-driven individuals whose intellect, skills, and high ethical orientation will make the difference in the spaces where they function as career people. Change drivers and public servants. Education holds the key to endless opportunities to the new world, and we are prepared to commit whatever it takes to set our children on the right path through the provision of qualitative public education. Healthcare delivery is one of the major governance frontiers we consider strategic to our broad development agenda. We have subsequently committed significant amount of resources to achieving superior results in the sector over the last 2.5 years. This morning, I'm happy to inform the Abia that public confidence is steadily returning to our health institutions. Most communities now have functional primary health care facilities to serve the local population. We are also seeing remarkable turnaround in the service readiness of the secondary care facilities, with several moribund general and cottage hospitals resuming regular operations following the conclusion of rehabilitation and reconstruction activities. On account of the commitment of our team to improving quality of care and support in our tertiary health institutions, the Abia State University Teaching Hospital Aba and the Abia State Specialist Hospital and Diagnostic Center Umuahia continue to expand their service offerings. I'm particularly glad that several critical medical procedures that hitherto took individuals and families to centers outside the state are presently being undertaken at these facilities. May I also announce that the health insurance service, which we launched in 2025, is already yielding great fruits, with more than 120,000 already enrolled in the scheme. In the past year, also, we recruited and deployed different categories of health workers to improve round-the-clock service delivery at all our facilities. As I had mentioned in times past, we are not yet at our desired destination, but on this special day, it is only appropriate that we take stock, appreciate ourselves for how far we have come, and make a firm commitment to look past the applause of yesterday. In the new year, we shall continue the established pattern of committing 15% of our annual budgetary outlay to meeting the healthcare needs of our people. Through continuous infrastructure upgrade, provision of medical supplies, and of course, superior reward scheme for health workers. Because for us, the true measure of the wealth of any community is the health of its population. Electricity is the live wire of modern civilization. It is the pivot that drives the levers of economic growth, keeps the flame of innovation aglow, and activates the excellence of the human spirit. Without electricity, poverty grows as unemployment, and insecurity takes steady root. To reap the benefits that access to electricity provides for the population, we have continued to invest generously in the restoration and expansion of electricity infrastructure in several parts of the state. In 2025, the Abia State Electricity Law came into effect. It battered the Abia State Electricity Regulatory Authority, ASERA, which has effectively taken over regulatory responsibilities for the electricity value chain in the state. What the new regime offers us is an independent platform for the management of the broad spectrum of functions around the electricity ecosystem. It may not be entirely smooth at the first place, but if there is one thing I have learned from studying the evolution of our civilization, it is the simple truth that nothing is impossible for the one who truly believes. Recall also that last year we made a successful bid for the acquisition of the electricity distribution infrastructure in the entire state outside the Aba ring-fence corridor. The last 1 year also saw the adoption of the Abia State mini-grid regulatory framework with a promise to leverage advances in alternative energy technology to create new supply and distribution channels within several unserved and underserved communities. With the level of investments that have been made by the present administration, I have no iota of doubt that the structural and institutional vehicles to usher us into the new era of energy sufficiency are already in place. It may take a while, but what I can guarantee is that 2026 will be a great year for energy investors and consumers in Abia State. Agriculture, I am glad to announce, shall receive special attention from the administration in 2026. In the past year, we concluded the development of a robust database for farmers after the systematic deployment of modern technology tools to match farmers to pharmacists. We now know with a reasonable degree of certainty the distribution of farmers in different parts of the state, the choice crops and the preferred market channels. This is a milestone achievement because it would not only enable us target our agro interventions appropriately, it also gives a general indication of our strength and what we expect at the end of each farming season in terms of revenue and job numbers. In the new year, we shall leverage what we have built to guide the timely distribution of inputs and other farm support materials. Ultimately, we hope to see a jump in the output of food and cash crops in the next planting season. At the center of our strategy will be early preparation and structured support to smallholder farmers, as well as the big players in the industry. The new year will also see a turnaround in the management of our special agricultural assets, especially as we have now taken effective control of the agro plantations in different communities in the state. The new operational strategy for the management of these assets shall prioritize accountability, job creation, and improved output levels for domestic consumption and export. Through the regional development authorities, we are also going to expand social and economic infrastructure outlay in the communities where these agro resources are located to encourage the development of ancillary industries and curb rural-urban migration. Let me also inform us that in the new year, generous provisions have been made to provide social and economic support to our women and mothers through the relevant organs of government. We appreciate the role of the women folk in keeping families together, just as they actively support peace and development initiatives in the communities. As a government, we shall see to it that our mothers, wives, sisters, and daughters are given the right support to reach their fullest potential as builders and change agents. In the same vein, we shall also continue to empower our young people through training, mindset shift, and the general scope of functional paradigms that enable long-term economic development. As we announced recently, products of our tertiary institutions who distinguish themselves in special fields of learning shall be given the opportunity to contribute directly to the development of the state through employment in relevant ministry, departments, and agencies. In the same manner, we have recently begun offering entrepreneurial support grants to recent graduates of institutions of higher learning who present business plans that are bankable and scalable. Graduates of Ogbonneonu Polytechnic, Gaba, are the first beneficiary. But in the new year, the program shall be extended to cover other tertiary institutions owned by the state government. Our idea is simple. We want to train and retain the best and most talented young people in Abia. In the new year, we shall continue to invest in programs that enhance the competitive abilities of our youth, offering them the edge they need to function in today's highly competitive environment. We shall continue to prioritize ICT training and technical skills acquisition programs, creative talent development, capacity building in agriculture, and the practical teaching of the unique set of skills that are required to function in critical industries like housing, power, and energy infrastructure. We have also taken conscious note of the needs of our brothers and sisters that are doing their best to function actively, not minding the difficulties of their struggles with physical disabilities. I'm glad that so many of you are directly contributing to the development of our communities, supporting your families, and inspiring others with your decision to give your best shot at life still. As we have done in the last 31 months, we shall continue to provide you with the support systems you require to do more and find fulfillment in your regular endeavors. We have an effective law against discrimination in the state, and I have directed that persons living with disabilities be given special consideration in all manners of state policy, project design, and welfare initiatives. We are also mindful of the economically vulnerable in our midst, the individuals who have been hit by the vicissitudes of life. In line with our obligation to care, the State Ministry of Poverty Alleviation and Social Protection, the Social Protection Council, and other organs of the government have been directed to activate all the necessary machineries to protect the socially and economically vulnerable in our midst. As part of our commitment to advancing the welfare of our senior citizens, I'm glad to announce that in the new year, the state government shall start offsetting accumulated gratuity arrears, which dates back to the early 2000s. I have studied and approved the template sent in by the special committee we set up to advise us. The framework will see us commit a certain chunk of our quarterly earnings to the payment of gratuity on a structured basis, designed to ensure that we are also able to meet the current obligations of the administration, even as we address the neglect of yesteryears. What I can, however, assure is that our retirees, just like every other group in the state, will get what is due them. 2026 will be a crucial year for our political development as the country begins preparation for the next round of general elections. In that regard, I would like to encourage our young ones, those who just clocked 18, those who recently relocated to the state, and those who lost their PVCs, to take advantage of the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to do the needful. We appreciate that you may suffer some inconveniences, but those who are the necessary sacrifices to deepen the roots of democracy in the land, it has been established that the true strength of any democratic culture is the active participation of every eligible actor. I appreciate that many of us are disappointed with some of the unfortunate developments in the politics since the beginning of the Fourth Republic, but then refusing to participate in the electoral process it will not make the situation any better. Our best bet is to get involved, improve our awareness, and then organize to drive the change that we seek at all levels. This new year will be a great opportunity for us to resolve to become more involved in the political affairs of our land and never abdicate our responsibilities as citizens. While I agree entirely with the popular verdict that our state has become one of the safest residential and travel destinations in the country, I would also like to encourage us not to lose focus. The recommendation is actually that we should be more vigilant, ask questions, and share every security information with law enforcement agents. It has been said severally in times past, but it bears repeating here. Abia will remain off limits to anyone or group whose profession and action are inconsistent with the laws of the land. Troublemakers are warned to stay off because we have our eyes everywhere, and any reckless act shall be made with the full might of the law. Law-abiding citizens and businesses can, however, take it for granted that this is the best place to be. As a commitment, we shall continue to keep our foot on the pedal so long as the security of lives and property in all parts of the state is concerned. Let me at this point especially acknowledge the support of members of our team in the evolution of the new Abia project. Special commendations are due to the Deputy Governor, Engineer Ikechukwu Emeto, and to the heads of various ministries, departments, and agencies. I would also like to appreciate the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Emmanuel Ihoma Emarowa, and his brother legislators for putting the development of our great state and its constituencies above personal and political considerations. The success we have recorded on multiple development fronts could not have happened without the patriotic disposition of the legislative arm of the government. On this special day, we would also like to recognize the efforts of the Abia State Judiciary, led by the Chief Judge of the state, Honorable Justice Lydian Abai. Thank you for the unrelenting commitment to judicial principles of integrity and propriety, and above all, for your courageous service in the temple of justice. Let me, as I conclude, extend my profound gratitude to the wider community of stakeholders whose support and goodwill have contributed immensely to the development gains of the new Abia State. Special appreciation also goes to our traditional and religious leaders, independent entrepreneurs, members of the organized private sector, and the general population whose outputs are shaping the economic landscape of the state. Thank you for your contributions in the years past. Let us reach for higher goals in this new year. May I, at this point, remember our compatriots who started the year with us, but unfortunately did not end it with us. While we thank God for their lives and commit their souls in repose, we extend commiserations to their loved ones and families and assure them that we shall all meet again on that resurrection morning. On a final note, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I remind us that the continuing development of Abia requires our collective participation. I invite us to make regular payment of taxes and other statutory fees part of our resolution this new year. As I announced on the floor of the State House of Assembly in November, our target for 2026 fiscal year is to fund our recurrent expenditure from internal revenue earnings. We therefore require the generous cooperation of every economic agent in the state to make this happen, confident that whatever is committed to the coffers of the state under our watch shall be applied strictly and judiciously to development programs and projects that further add to your capacity to earn. Payment of taxes is therefore an investment in the growth of your business, because what you pay is applied in making the environment conducive for your continuing growth and expansion. Our target may be ambitious, but then this is God's own state. And when we say yes, No force on earth is powerful enough to stand in our way. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me thank you for listening. May God bless Abia State, and Happy New Year to you all.